Cloud computing service model defines the different level of access, management, and control on the cloud infrastructure. Let's talk about the service model of cloud computing. You can have the different level of flexibility, control, and management on the cloud resources. And based on this, cloud resources can be divided in three types like software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. This is called service model. Before we talk about service model of cloud computing, let's take a very famous analogy of ordering a pizza to understand the cloud computing service model. Let's say you want to order a pizza, then you have two options. One option is you can order it, and the other option is you can open a store, hire the staff, and cook the pizza for yourself. What will you do? Most likely, you will order the pizza from the pizza store, which is quick and easy way to get it. There are pros and cons of each approach. If you order a pizza from the pizza store, then you don't have any control on quality of ingredients used to prepare the pizza. You just order the pizza, pay for it, and you get it without knowing who is cooking it and what is used to cook the pizza. So based on your business requirement, you may need control on your infrastructure and on your application environment. And the level of control you get on your cloud infrastructure is defined by these service models. Next, let's talk about the software as a service. Software as a service is like ordering a pizza, where you just order what you need and pay for it. You do not have any control on resources and you don't need to manage the infrastructure. The software as a service model delivers the services and allow the multiple users to access it remotely via the internet. Most SaaS applications can be accessed directly from a web browser without any configuration at user's end. The software as a service are managed from a central location and hosted on a remote server. If there are any issues in accessing the software as a service, then vendors who is providing the services manage the issues like outage, maintenance, software upgrade, bug fix, etc. Software as a service is a multi-tenant architecture and easily customizable, which means multiple users run the resources on shared infrastructure and use the same computing resources. The data and workload of each user is logically separated and remain isolated from the data of other users. SaaS is easily customizable and designed to fit any organization's unique requirement without changing the organization's infrastructure. Emails like Hotmail, Gmail are perfect example of software as a service. We use our personal emails like Hotmail, Gmail without any knowledge of who is managing our email accounts and what is the infrastructure where our emails are hosted. As a user, we just use the service when we need it and everything is managed by the service provider. The services will be available for you all the time. The architecture or the infrastructure of the application is completely hidden to you. In a SaaS service model, you just don't need to manage anything. You just pay for the service and use it. Everything is managed and controlled by the service provider. You just need a web browser or API on your machine to access the applications. Next, let's talk about the platform as a service. In some scenarios, you want some control on your application and data. Platform as a service allow you to host the applications on the cloud instead of buying the services from the service provider. It's a leading service model that helps to address the modern business requirement. It's a simple and cost-effective deployment of applications with full control. This model is used when you want to host the applications that should be in your control, but don't want to manage the infrastructure where that application is hosted. The service provider provides you the pre-built platform managed by them to host your application. The application will be in your control, but the infrastructure where the application will be hosted will be managed by the service provider. Platform as a service leverages the virtualization technology to scale up or down the resources as per your requirement. The platform as a service model is perfectly suitable if you want to host new application but don't want to install the hardware or software personally in your place. It is best used for development, testing, and deployment of customized applications. Platform as service brings more value to cloud. It reduces your management overhead and lower the cost. In platform as a service model, you manage your applications and the infrastructure where that application is hosted is managed by the service provider. Next, we have infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service provide you full control on infrastructure. You create your own servers, network resources, storage, choose your operating system. This model provides the same technologies and capabilities as a traditional data center without burden of physically maintaining and managing the infrastructure. Infrastructure as a service is flexible and easy to deploy the resources in the cloud. You can increase the storage or servers as per your requirement. Except the management of physical hardware, you manage and control everything in the infrastructure as a service model. You can purchase the infrastructure as a service based on a consumption model instead of purchasing the hardware. This model enables you to add, delete, or reconfigure the IT infrastructure on demand. In this model, you manage and control up to the operating system. All physical hardware is managed by your service provider. So we talked about infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. You can use any of the cloud service model based on your business requirement. On-site is having all your resources in your full control and manage everything your own, like your private data center. You can use the infrastructure as a service if you need full control on the infrastructure. This model helps the organization to change the hardware and software easily if your business requirements get changed. Platform as a service model is useful for companies developing, running, and managing the application interfaces but don't want to manage the infrastructure. If you develop a service like monitoring service and you want to sell your service to customers, then platform as a service model is more suitable for you as you just need to manage your service. You don't need to manage the infrastructure where that service is hosted. Software as a service helps in delivering the applications that can be widely distributed and accessed. So based on your requirement and business need, you need to choose the right service model for your organization.